Good morning, everyone. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me by using the chat box and say hi, we can hear you. Okay. So I'm seeing the thumbs up. Thank you very much. So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Ogochukwu Okoye, and I'm with Central Securities Clearance System, PLC. I'm excited to be here with all of you as we dive into this important topic, cybersecurity and AI integration, future trends and challenges. Before we begin, I would like to take, I always like to find a moment like this I always find a moment like this a bit humbling because of the depth of the expertise we're bringing today. But more importantly, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to engage with all our audience. So I won't keep us too long before we start. I would like to say thank you for taking time to join us. This webinar is just the start of a larger conversation on how we can stay ahead of the challenges and the innovation in cybersecurity, especially as it intersects with AI. So to officially kick things off, I would like to invite Isioma Lawal. She's the head of the Enterprise Risk Management and Resilience Services here at the Central Security Clearance System PLC to give the opening remarks. I would like to say that Isioma has been instrumental in shaping today's agenda, and we are very happy to have her here. Over to you, Isioma.
Thank you, Ogo. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're logging in from. Thank you for joining us. We are hosting this webinar in collaboration with the Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA, and they are the ones that are primarily responsible. They are the custodian of our cybersecurity laws in Nigeria. For CSCS, we are the Nigerian's CSD, Premier Financial Market Infrastructure, where we do securities depository, security settlement. We're also a technology service provider where we provide web portals, API, and other technology services to market participants to help them serve their customers. We also have ancillary services, things like collateral management service, document management, LEI, and ISIN issuance. So that's just CSCS in a nutshell. I know some of you will be wondering, what's CSCS and cybersecurity? Well, I'm sure you agree with me that in today's internet-connected world, with all the ransomware, phishing, data breaches, supply chain attacks, that cybersecurity is not just for IT departments alone. It is now a critical business imperative. So with this ever-changing complex landscape of cyber, everybody has to put all hands on deck. So we're using this platform to increase awareness, to talk about it and let everybody be better at it. So I'll just quickly introduce the wonderful speakers we have today that are going to have this conversation with us. The first speaker, I'm going to talk about predictive analytics for threat detection, and that is Oluleke Olatunji. He's the Chief Information Security Officer at FSDH, and he has experience spying across financial and technology institutions. Leke is certified in cloud security. He's a lead ISO 27001 lead auditor, certified Chief Information Security Officer, and he has contributed immensely to the industry. He's even part of the committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria Risk and Security Subcommittee on Open Banking. The second speaker is Funmilola Odumuboni. She's a partner in Deloitte under the Cyber Risk Services. She's going to talk to us today about the role of AI in building a cyber resilient organization. So Funmilola, she's a seasoned professional, certified information systems auditor, certified information systems security professional. She's a computer hacking forensic investigator, certified member of Business Continuity Institute, and the list goes on. Funmi is the immediate past president of Lagos chapter of ISACA. And then the third wonderful speaker we're going to have today is going to talk about the use of AI in national security, enhancing security through technology. And that is from the Office of the National Security Advisor, Bello Hayatudeen. Bello Hayatudeen is the Director NSERT, and that is, NSERT is the National Cybersecurity Coordination Center. So you agree with me, the lineup for today is rich. Each speaker will speak for about 15 minutes, and after that, we'll have a chance for question and answer. But in the meantime, please put all your questions and answers in the Q&A section. Somebody will be answering them in the meantime, but if we don't get to it, we'll get to it at the question and answer session. So all the speakers will wait and answer all your questions at that time. And then another incentive to wait till the end. We're going to have a quiz towards the end. I'm going to have wonderful prizes to be won. We're going to have up to 4 winners. Fastest fingers, of course. And so let's just dive right in to our first speaker, and that's Oluleke Olatunji. Please go ahead, Leke.
Thank you, Isioma. Glad to be here. Fun fact, myself and Isioma used to be colleagues. Well, she was my senior colleague a few years ago. I'm glad to be here. So we present a short presentation on predictive analytics for threat detection. Right. For most of us who are a bit conversant with cybersecurity, we realize that the amount kind of threats that we face daily, organization, I can guarantee that organization gets maybe a minimum of probably between 100 million or 200 million security events per day, right? And going through these security events, typically in the years past, what used to happen was you have a security analyst that goes through the events manually, and then if there's an identified issue, escalates to second level analyst before it goes to the SOC manager. However, because of the volume of security events and threats that we face, it has become imperative to apply current technology to address some of the issues that we face. One of the major issues that most security operations centers face is called analyst fatigue or alert fatigue. Basically, what happens is there are too many alerts for the analysts to deal with. So what predictive analytics does for us is it helps to use historical data. Based on historical data, it helps identify patterns of behavioral activities and helps to build predictive models. So what that does for us is as a cybersecurity analyst, as an organization, as a defender, basically for defenders in the cybersecurity space, what predictive analysis helps us to do is to take out false positives, right? Most of the issues that we face with are false positives. And what happens is if you have like 1,000 false positives, you actually get tired before you even go halfway through. So one of the things that predictive analysis will do is to help to weed out. Yes, sorry, give me a second. You have to weed out false positives so the analyst can focus on what's important. So why is threat detection, why does threat detection matter? I'm talking about the evolution of cyber threats. The criminals continue to improve and fine-tune the ways we to seek to gain unauthorized access to our system. So in order to stay abreast of the activity, it's important for us to also evolve. Another reason why we need threat detection is to prevent data breaches, safeguarding data, and also early detection. The core value that predictive analysis does for us is to limit the impact of cybersecurity incidents through early detection, right? And early detection is done based on historical data, it analyzes it, and does real-time monitoring. So how does predictive analytics work? Basically, there's data collection. You get historical data of events that happened within the organization, and also get data from threat intelligence sources. Now, the data is analyzed, and then there's a risk scoring. So what happens is after the data is analyzed, so typically when such a system is introduced into an environment, there's a learning period, understands the patterns of users, how users carry out different activities, and then it sets a baseline. Happens is if an activity goes above that baseline, it is assigned a particular risk score, which is what is now used to determine whether or not to raise an issue with the analyst. It also helps to preempt certain risky behaviors. For example, uh, based on historical data of users within an organization, if the platform you're using uses predictive analytics, it notices that most staff or most particular DBAs or DBAs only log in between 9 a.m. and probably 9 p.m. at night. If, for example, an account decides to log at 2 a.m., right? A typical system that doesn't have predictive analysis will not pick that, right? So a system that is equipped with predictive analytics will pick that 2 a.m. event and then run it through the system to say, okay, aside from this kind of event occurred before, even having occurred before, some of them have the capacity to terminate the connection and then report it. But in some cases, it's just escalated to an analyst, right? So the key component of predictive analytics, it basically has to do with data collection. Now, the challenge most organizations have is we do not have enough data to feed into intelligence systems to help them predict risky activities. But I think over the last 2-3 years, a lot of security OEMs have come up with different platforms that help to get sources from um, threat activities from different parts of the network, and they also integrate it with threat intelligence. Right. So what that does is you have the activities within your system collated and correlated in the same. You also have threat intelligence sources that combine with that and now help an intelligence system bring up scenarios or bring up activities that are considered risky. So the predictive nature of the analytics basically just helps you to quickly identify security events that may become security incidents, right? Like I said, most security OEMs tools already have some of these baked in, but it's something that I think not a lot of people take advantage of, or probably they don't include it as part of their part of their playbook, as part of their security playbook for their security operations. My time is limited, so I'll just go to various advantages of predictive analytics. So basically, it helps with proactive defense. It helps with real-time security monitoring and improved accuracy. The key word here is improved accuracy. So the advantage predictive analytics gives is that your analysts spend less time running after dead ends, right? They can focus on what's important, and then based on that, continually fine-tune the process such that when a real incident comes up, right, they are able to identify it, triage it, and then carry out incident response very quickly. So the way the world is and the way the world is evolving, the threat we face will only increase and become more sophisticated. So it's imperative as part of one security architecture or security design to ensure that predictive analytics is built into what products you have, what you that really deal with security as a company. It's also thing that people want to talk about analytics. I think the areas where I feel that more work has to be done have to do with collaboration, because what you see is that a lot of OEMs seem to be have their different silos for threat intelligence, right? So but what's going on now is you're seeing some OEMs buying other OEMs, and I feel eventually we're going to have like an ecosystem where one can subscribe to in the cloud, can subscribe to the ecosystem in the cloud and feed that into um, your threat monitoring within your system. The other thing I think will also come going forward is deep learning. So we are currently at the stage of machine learning for most analytics. Deep learning will do is to help to further reduce the role and the work of the analyst and able to contextualize certain security, especially as regards to location. For example, some threats are predominant in the US, some are Middle East, some are in Europe. However, with deep learning will help improve the efficacy, and that's what I'm looking for. Efficacy of predictive analytics in organization. I'll probably take it to the next level. So currently, you have situations in which that implement predictive analytics do not need very little level one analysts, right? By the time deep learning comes in, the level two analysts currently have in SOC operations might have to reduce drastically because the kind of feedback you get from the system will be of a better quality. Yeah, so that's about it. My time is limited, so I just wanted to just be as fast as possible. So thanks so much, Isioma, for the opportunity to share with the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Leke. That was very insightful. But please wait to the end so you can answer questions from people as well. So let's just quickly dive into the okay. So we have a little poll. So while the second speaker is just setting up, please help us answer. All right, so we go to the next speaker. Funmi, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, please share your screen. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. And it's so great to be here. I want to say thank you very much to CSCS, Isioma, and the team for this opportunity. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
I can't see your screen.
Okay. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. It's really great to be here, and it's always very exciting to talk about cybersecurity. And there are two buzzwords we're talking about this morning, both AI and cybersecurity. And when you combine buzzwords, the result is normally explosive. So I anticipate that we'll have very engaging discussions on this platform today. So today I'm talking about the role of AI in building a cyber resilient organization. And we will be looking at why now? Why are we talking about AI and cybersecurity? What is the evolving threat landscape? And how can we leverage AI to enhance our cyber resilience within the organizations we work with? There's a Gartner prediction that said the global spend of AI software will surge from 124 billion in 2022 to 297 billion by 2027. So you can see that a lot of organizations are leveraging AI to solve different kinds of business problems, and cybersecurity is not going to be left out. And this is because we have better access to infrastructure, we have better access and scale with cloud. We can actually just use what we and pay for what we use, and the infrastructure is highly accessible. We also have a lot of data. We have generated a lot of data over the past decades, data from social media, both big data, structured, unstructured data. And there are a lot of technologies now that are able to use AI to create innovation. So that is why we are talking about AI, and we have to look at how we can leverage AI to actually improve our work as cybersecurity professionals. I won't dwell on this, just to give a background for the different audience types that we have that we don't understand that cybersecurity has to do with confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And when we're talking about cyber resilience, we're talking about the capability of the organization to bounce back continually deliver its intended operations in the event of a cyber breach or in the event of any cyber attacks or failures. And this is the process for cyber resilience. So why should we consider AI for cybersecurity? The thing is that the speed of attacks is getting higher. Now we hear so many organizations that are being breached on a daily basis. It is now on a daily basis, both within and outside Nigeria. And it is it's actually very, very worrying. We also have the lack of skills. We don't have enough skills. It's not only in Nigeria, it's around the world. The skills in cybersecurity are not enough to meet the demand for cybersecurity. So we don't have enough skills. We don't have enough manpower. Our adversaries are actually using AI. The cybersecurity is like a warfare. You are battling against bad guys, and these guys are leveraging AI to actually improve their operations. So we have to, as the defense, we also have to leverage AI. There are a lot of new and unpredictable attack patterns happening. We now talk about supply chain attacks, where the attacker does not even attack the organization directly, but attacks a third party that is serving the organization in one way or the other. We know about the SolarWinds attack that happened a couple of years ago. So it's a new type of attack, and we are seeing that it's now being unpredictable. We don't know where they are going. So we have to be ahead of the curve. Also, we have distributed and complex systems. A lot of organizations are highly using cloud platforms now, and they have cloud platforms in addition to on-prem platforms, in addition to IoT systems within the same network. So the landscape has really, really changed. And so we cannot continue to depend on our existing ways of doing things. We have to look at how can we leverage AI to ensure that we are ahead of the curve. So some of the things that we can see in this new landscape, we're talking about social engineering attacks. They've gone a notch higher. Before, when you talk about phishing attacks, what you would tell people during security awareness is that look for typos in the mail, look for grammatical errors, look for this. But all those things don't exist because the attackers are now using AI tools like ChatGPT to actually craft very, very good mails that are believable any day, anytime. So we can't keep up. Increased insider threats. Insiders are actually even being employed to perform attacks against the organization. As I said, cloud and hybrid infrastructure attacks, ransomware. There's what we call polymorphic malware, that this malware actually adapt based on the environment so that they would not be caught. And also hybrid infrastructure attacks. So those are the things that we are seeing. Now, how can we leverage AI to provide more resilience for us as an organization? And this is where I will just dwell on a little bit. And the first one is that I've just put in some use cases. There are several other use cases, just like what we tell our clients. Your ability to use the tool is dependent on it. Ability to use a tool is dependent on your own imagination. So there are so many use cases for the use of AI in cybersecurity and to improve cyber resilience. But I'll just talk about a few because of time, and we can discuss about more. One is around efficient threat detection. So we should be able to detect when there are threats. So AI can help with anomaly detection. If there are things that are happening within the environment that are outside normal, AI can also help with detection of malware. So for example, the polymorphic malware we are talking about, AI can help us to detect that. AI can help us to detect AI-powered phishing emails, just like how when you submit, and a lot of people, there are tools online that can help you see whether a report or a write-up was actually AI generated, because there are some cues within the text that would point to the fact that it is either human or AI. So it's the same thing. The AI can also help us to detect phishing emails that are to the human eye perfect, but can help us see that they are actually phishing emails. Also, AI can help with cross-platform threat detection by using cloud platforms, on-prem platforms, and all. In terms of security operations, we can use artificial intelligence to help us automate a lot of activities. Just like what Leke said earlier, in security operations, you are going through piles and piles of data and information, and there's what we call analyst fatigue. So, but AI can be used to help with most of the operations that are mundane that the analysts do every day. They can use artificial intelligence to automate those tasks such that they are focused on what is actually very important. Another very good use case for AI in security operation is machine learning, where the tool is able to adapt and create use cases. What we do a lot in security operations now is that we come up with use cases, rules based on what is happening, based on threat intel and feedback, and we have to now put in those rules and use cases. So you see, it is dependent on the knowledge of the person putting it in. But when we have machine learning embedded, machine learning is able to correlate data from different sources and create rules, create use cases so that the system is adaptive to the threats that are happening. And this will make us be ahead of the curve. In terms of governance, risk, and compliance, it can help with proactive compliance across our platforms. It can even help with security policies and procedures. A lot of organizations have issues tracking compliance across probably jurisdictions, across subsidiaries and all that. Artificial intelligence can help to automate those tasks. And because we are able to generate data on a daily basis, AI can help us sieve through that data to see subsidiaries or countries that are probably not, they are not compliant with some local regulations, local laws. By the time you feed those local laws and local regulations to AI, it can help you generate that information on a real-time basis and will be able to proactively be ahead of the curve in terms of compliance. Also, enhance decision-making when it comes to risk management and risk assessment. And other ways that AI can help is in threat intelligence and predictive analytics. Leke has done justice to predictive analytics, so I won't dwell much on it. But what I just want to mention here is around fraud detection and transaction monitoring. Artificial intelligence can help to sift through millions and millions of data in terms of transactions to detect patterns, fraud patterns. It can also be used for anti-money laundering, transaction monitoring, and all that. So those are areas we can use AI in terms of threat intelligence and predictive analytics. Looking at multi-cloud and hybrid environments, AI can help with automation across this environment so that you have a single point that you just need to look at. The issue with having a hybrid environment is that you have to do disparate security. So you secure this environment and the security mechanisms are different from another environment and the last environment. But with AI, you can be able to look at all the environments in a single pane. It can also help to prevent shadow IT, especially in the era of cloud, whereby people can spin up virtual machines that the IT and the security organization is not aware of because of the ease of doing that. So AI can also help with detection of shadow IT to ensure that your estate is what it is. And the last one I'll talk about is enhancing endpoint security in terms of workstations, servers, and the endpoints we use. So it can help with dynamic malware detection. You can also use it in terms of enhanced password protection and even reviewing the endpoint to see whether there are anomalies or zero-day attacks that are being thrown to the endpoint. So those are areas that you can use AI to improve endpoint security. And so what are the challenges in using AI. There are some challenges. One is unavailability of data and probably the manipulation of data. AI is very, very heavy on the data you feed the engine. So if the data is not available because we are using probably legacy systems that are not compatible with the AI engine, then we will not be able to leverage it. Also, if the data is flawed, that is where we have issues around bias in AI algorithms, because the data does not look at the comprehensive end-to-end landscape. So if the data is manipulated or flawed, then we will have issues around it. Also, cost is an issue, and skill gap also. People are just beginning to understand the adaptations of AI into cybersecurity. And definitely when you are talking about AI, there are issues around ethical, privacy concerns, and how this will be addressed as an organization. There's what we call a trustworthy AI framework that we use within my organization to look at and to put a lens around AI implementation. And there are a number of things you need to look at. Is it fair? Is it robust? Is privacy embedded? Is it safe, secure, and is it transparent? So those are the things that you need to look at. So when you want to adopt cyber AI in cybersecurity, these are the major things you need to look at. And I will just end with this. One is to have a framework around it. So it's not just saying, okay, this tool has AI embedded, let me just get the tool, because what do you know about the engine that the tool is using, the AI engine, the mechanism, privacy, and all that. So it's best to have a framework around artificial intelligence. You develop your infrastructure such that it is defensible. Your infrastructure has to be tight. Another thing we see is that once people have AI mechanisms or AI tools, they just feel that, I can go and sleep. But that doesn't, and they over-rely on the AI tools. But you need to do your part in ensuring that your network and your systems are actually fortified. Also, you now implement your tailored tools and solutions that will address different aspects of where you need an AI enhancement. You also have to harness threat intelligence. As we say, artificial intelligence is only as good as information you feed into the engine. So you need to feed enough threat intel into the engine so that you get the best in terms of coverage and comprehensiveness of the tool. And also you need to just look at cost and efficiency. What is the cost of implementing AI? AI is not cheap, but what is the cost of it, and what does it outweigh the benefits that I would derive from this set? So I will just end with this. We can have questions to delve into any other topics that we would like to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fumi. That was very interesting. I think one of the things I took away was that the use of AI is your imagination that is the limit, whatever you want it to do, you know. So that was a key takeaway from me. I'm sure the people listening actually took a lot. Another scary part was this deep fakes. How am I even sure that Fumi, you are the one talking? Maybe you are not working somewhere, you sent AI to come and represent you. I'm sure we'll soon get to that stage. But thank you. That was very interesting. Thank you so much. All right. So we go to the next. Please put me hang on to the end. We'll have question and answers. And please, all the listeners, kindly put your question and answers in the comment section. I'm sure people are answering you right now. If your question is not answered by the time it's Q&A, we'll just pick and answer at that time. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So let's go to the third interesting presentation from the Office of National Security Advisor. While he's setting up or getting ready, please can you take the poll for Fumi's presentation? Thank you. Mr. Hayatudeen, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Isoma. Let me see if I can be able to share what I have. And I'm not sure. Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Okay. What about now? Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see it. Thank
Okay.
you. Would you like to put it in the
Okay.
presentation? Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Isoma. And I think I will thank you once again for putting up these wonderful speakers who have done justice to AI from both academic perspective and industry perspective. Mm, they have actually presented about 70% of what I have to present here. So for me and Leke, thank you very much. And it's nice to be part of this wonderful panelists. Um, what will I say? I need to change the gear a bit, looking at cybersecurity from a national perspective. Under the Office of the National Security Advisor, and we developed a national strategy called the National Cybersecurity Strategy. This was a first strategy in 2014 that was designed at that time to address the concerns of certain infrastructural development within the telco and the IT industry in Nigeria. And we felt, oh, this is the right time to come up with a strategy to first look at how the threats and the risks associated with this infrastructure and these technologies, as well as what are those opportunities within that space. Moving forward, after 5 years, we'll be able to develop another strategy, which is the one that is currently in place. Okay. So, like I said, Fumi and Leke have said so much around artificial intelligence from the enterprise perspective. What we're trying to do here is to look at it from national security perspective. I think this is a bit academic, but I'll still go over it. Artificial intelligence is just not just for defense, is equally an opportunity. An opportunity as a disruptive technology that you might have to sit down as a country, as a business, to really look at what are these opportunities that will be derived from this. And I think part of what we have done as government is to develop a national AI strategy, which I think is in draft. This has been driven by the Minister of Communication Technologies as well, and driven by NIDA. And this technology begins earlier. And one thing I can tell you, AI is available technology which has been part of us for a very long time. You see IoTs, you see your phones, and you see your television, and you see so many other things that are embedded. AIs are embedded into them. Practically one of those areas which AI was developed for was computer vision, fuzzy logics, expert systems, you have robotics, you have machine learning, and then neural network and deep learning as well, language processing. From the national security perspective, I think for me, I've mentioned something around supply chain security, which is quite an interesting area, and all of us were aware what has happened recently with the pager and the radio vulnerabilities that was used and were weaponized. So in future, what we see is we're going to see smart soldiers. We will stop seeing physical soldiers actually going to war. We can see our own devices, our own technologies being used and weaponized against us. So why AI matters for national security? If we look at national security, we're just not looking at defense alone. We're looking at opportunity, like I've mentioned. So national security encompasses energy security, food security, and so many other aspects of security of our life. Why does it matter to us? Enhancing efficiency and productivity. You can't take that away from what AI can provide. It can provide efficiency in agriculture, for instance. All of us have been buying a bag of rice for 100,000 naira. So we actually understand how this technology and how the problems can be enhanced, how the solutions can be enhanced using AI, improve decision making, driving innovation. There's um, there's a discussion around regulating AI and the safe use of AI. So these are where we feel the government should equally come in and be able to provide strategic direction for us to drive the industry, for us to tap into what Funmi have mentioned around the 297 billion AI spending possibly within some very few years. What are those opportunities? How can Nigeria tap into this space, especially the cybersecurity space? How can we develop innovations? How can we support startup? How can we support our experts within the country to be able to tap into this big bucket of $279 billion? Again, is the government are proposing for a $1 trillion economy. How can we leverage the young population and the technology savviness of this population to be able to contribute significantly to the 1 trillion economy of the government? Enhancing safety and security. I mean, Leke and Fumi again have done so much justice around telling us how we can enhance security and safety using AI. Shaping the future of work. COVID have actually been an enabler, if I use that word, for remote working, and we have seen how the platforms like Zoom and the rest using AI have improved significantly digital nomad lifestyle. Okay, so how do we apply AI in national security? National security is all about information processing and intelligence gathering. If you get data, you process that data and you make sense of that data and you develop intelligence packaging. And we know the volume of data that it's been generated daily. I think one of the speakers have mentioned some billions of data that is generated daily. How do you actually make sense of it and be able to use it to protect the citizenry? And one of the things that I will tell you is that we've been able to put up a roadmap to develop an AI-capable systems to be able to derive actionable intelligence, which is shared across law enforcement. The other one is the surveillance reconnaissance. AI have been used for surveillance purposes. I think it's an area that law enforcement are very, very interested in. We have seen how drones have become significant part of the future warfare, and future wars will be fought remotely, and this is where this technology will play a significant role. The other area, which is quite what we're talking about here, is the cybersecurity aspect. It's quite interesting to see that AI is shaping things up across the industry. And cybersecurity is definitely feeling the impact when we think about national security. Blending AI into our cyber defense plans bring both opportunities and some tough challenges, and we have seen those challenges in terms of building those infrastructure. On the plus side, AI gives us amazing tools for predictive issues, responding to incidents right away, and creating smart defense systems. This means we can spot, understand, and tackle threats way faster and more accurately than ever before. But here's the flip side, and which concerns all of us, especially CSC that is being a clearinghouse. Those same AI advancement can be double-edged sword. Cyber criminals and hostile nations are using AI to beef up their attacks. And like I said, we have seen the supply chain breach which occurred recently in Lebanon, which this makes them sneakier and tougher to catch. The urgency to strengthen our digital defenses have never been greater. And this requires cooperation and partnership with both the industry and the government to come and develop this space. That's why organizations like the Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA, came in. ONSA, through the National Cybersecurity Coordinating Center, plays a crucial role in keeping Nigeria's cyberspace safe. The NCC oversees key cybersecurity projects, while the Nigerian Computer Emergency Response Team tackles an hands-on work of building a secure and resilient digital environment for the nation, stepping up our cyber defenses against new threats. We need to tap into the AI game-changing potentials so as to boost our national cyber resilience. We cannot stick with the old school defense method anymore. And we believe that AI can help us predict threats with advanced data crunching so we can move from reacting to be proactive. And the other areas which AI can help is speeding up response to cyber incidents. The speakers have done a bit justice on some of these things. So, we can minimize damage and protecting vital infrastructure. Evolving our defenses to stay ahead of emerging threats, keeping our system very, very strong. Enhancing human skills by automating repetitive data-heavy tasks, allowing experts to focus on the bigger strategic challenges. However, even with the top-notch tech, we cannot do this alone. Building a secure future requires teamwork across sectors. The government, private companies, and academia needs to join forces to share insights, set standards, and ensure AI's ethical use in cybersecurity. This kind of collaboration is key to keeping our system trustworthy and making sure AI benefit national security, privacy, and to top it up, human rights. This is quite important. I would like to speak around one of the questions that Kolawale was asking about SIM, with a reasonable SIM that you can buy. There are so many open source tools so I'm not marketing for them, but Wazoo can be a starting point for you to pick up and see if you can work around customizing it to benefit you. At the national set, we provide support for cybersecurity incidents, particularly the critical information infrastructure. And the president have just signed an executive order mandating the protection of key national digital assets. And this includes assets from the financial sector, from the armed forces, including the CSC and NIPS infrastructure. So this is a good starting point. Like I said, CSC are partners, and we believe everybody that is here can reach out to us, and we can partner in making sure we have a safe online and internet and secure infrastructure for us to progress and achieve the aim of the $1 trillion economy. Thank you very much, Soma.
Thank you so much. You know, when somebody hears AI, the first thing is to be afraid. But I like the perspective that is the opportunities that we're actually seeking from it. I love that. Oh, yeah. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so much opportunity, and government are looking at it from the opportunity perspective, not from the adversary perspective. And again, it's to empower, and we believe AI is a platform for us to engage the young population in terms of building an industry around AI.
Yes, especially our Nigeria, that we have a lot of human resources, a lot of young people.
Yes.
They say children are born with devices in their hand these days. When you see how a small child is handling these things, you'll be wondering. Thank you so much.
Well,
It was very insightful. Yeah.
You're welcome.
No, please go ahead.
It's just to mention that we have a conference which the Office of the National Security Advisor and the CSS coming up in the event is coming up on, can you remind me the date this summer? Sorry.
17th of October.
It's 17th of
17th of
October
October. In
October in
Abuja.
Abuja,
Yes.
exactly. So I'll suggest a lot of you should register and come because some of these key critical discussion will be discussed, and we have an area of experts, that will be there.
Yes, thank you. You all heard him, 17th of October. Okay. Now, I think you can agree with me that we've just had a very wonderful time. This is time well spent. So we have enough time. While we're getting ready for the Q&A, please just go to the poll and rate the session. How did you see it? Well, I hope you learned a lot. And then we'll just delve into the Q&A. Even though I'm confident that most of the questions will have been answered, but so let's just go ahead. And if you have a specific question for specific speakers, that would be nice to put on there so that I'll just know who I'm directing the questions to. Okay. So the first question I'm seeing. All right. With AI being used both to detect phishing emails and to help cyber criminals create more sophisticated paraphrased content that can evade AI-based detection systems, how can cybersecurity professionals ensure that AI detection models stay ahead of adversarial AI techniques? What strategies or technologies can be used to counter this evolving threat? I think this is more skewed to Fumi's presentation. So please, everyone, if you have specific speakers to answer, please, can you write their names while you're asking your questions? Fumi, did you get the question?
Yes, so the bad guys are using AI, we're using AI. What can we do to be ahead of them? Yeah, so just summarizing it. So there are a number of tools that already have AI embedded, and these tools are able to detect when there are AI-generated phishing emails that are sent to people. They're even able to prevent the email from coming in, quarantine, look for other people within the environment that have received such emails, and also quarantine from all those people. So it's very important. I think the most important thing when we're looking at being ahead of the curve is ensuring that our AI systems are plugged to the right threat intelligence platforms, because it's based on the intelligence they have that you'll be able to, AI is based on data. So the more data they have, the more they're able to recognize patterns, they're able to predict patterns, and they're able to generate more intelligence, like what the name is. So we ensure that we have those tools embedded to enough sources of threat intelligence. We're able to feed intelligence from within our systems also into it, so that when it's detecting, it's very robust and we're able to get those phishing emails. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So we have another one, but this time it's for Hayatudeen. One global leader recently mentioned in a national security speech that all systems, no matter how complex, can be hacked. How does this reality influence the strategies that can be in place to enhance Nigeria's cyber defense?
Okay. Well, I don't know how possible is everything is hackable. It's 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 science, so I believe AI actually facilitated some of this hackability of system. So a system can be independent of the internet, and it might have some limitations. But what we're trying to do here is to make sure that we have a kind of a system and audit and system that audits those critical infrastructure. I have to remind you that the CERT, what we do at the CERT is really focusing on the critical national assets, and those are the infrastructures. We have sectorial SATs which deals with other sectors. So they kind of focus on those systems. So they develop their own in-house strategy and then operational guidelines to make sure that they have a system in place that audits this critical national infrastructure to make sure that they are up to date with all their patch management systems and all of the requirements based on the national guidelines to protect key digital assets within the country.
Thank you very much. Because I think I found one question for Leke, and they ask, how can machine learning algorithms improve predictive policing in Nigeria? And what ethical considerations will be taken into account?
So I think probably the question has to do with how to improve policing. I'm not sure if that's the question. So, like has been mentioned earlier, the quality of the outputs from your threat intelligence or artificial intelligence is relies strongly on the data you exposed it to. So, the more quality of the data, better 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 intelligence and analytics you can get from it. So I think it's ensuring that the source of data you have that feeds into your system has been thoroughly vetted, right? So you don't just take data from processing it first and ingesting it into the system. So that is very, very key. There are concerns around data privacy, concerns about bias. There are concerns around other ethical issues that have to do with AI and machine learning and cybersecurity. But typically for most threat intelligence that we typically use, they're usually anonymized. Anonymization means that the before the data is processed, it's stripped off of personal information. So you don't have people's personal information with the data. You just have the IP address, kind of activities that's going on. You can't really tie it to an individual person. Now for guys at the NSA, that's actually different. You probably have a different set of parameters they have to work with because they have to do with security of the country. For most of us in other sectors, finance sectors and all that, the data that comes in is usually anonymized and you cannot tie it to a particular individual. I don't think that answers the question. Thanks.
Okay, I'm sure it does. Thank you. So we'll just take one more questions each for each panelist and then we'll wrap this up. But don't worry, if we didn't answer your question, we have it on the, our people are working behind the scenes to answer.
As a panelist, are we allowed to ask questions as well? Because
okay,
there's
sure.
To area other, which I think it's
to
quite,
other panelists. Of course.
I have a bit of a bias around the financial system, and one area that we really want to see the industry and law enforcement, especially around financial intelligence, is development of tools to be able to detect suspicious activity reports and then suspicious transactions report. Funmi, I've mentioned something around those transactional identification and for us to be able to curtail money laundering and terrorism financing. I think our banking system, especially the compliance, even though I know she's from the risks background, but compliance is very key for us to mitigate money laundering and terror financing. And we are going to see a huge gap coming in because of the licensing of the digital asset exchanges by the Securities Exchanges Commission. Simply the crypto exchanges are coming in. And that is a big gap around how you can actually even view those transactions and be able to report suspicious activity and suspicious transaction within that. So for me, this question is for you. But again, Leke, I want to see how deep learning, machine learning can improve that aspect of the financial security and integrity of our financial systems.
Okay, so probably I'll start. Let me just rephrase. The question is talking about how we can use AI in transaction monitoring to be able to uncover money laundering and other fraud techniques, right? Yeah, okay. So a number of organizations have actually started looking in that area, and they've started looking at how to, even organizations in Nigeria, I'm talking about in Nigeria, the financial institutions have started looking at how they can use AI for transaction and fraud monitoring, not only from the compliance perspective, but also to protect their customers, such that they're able to see patterns in terms of transactions that are fraudulent and are happening across the industry. We've seen that there have been a number of fraud that have been industry-wide. And so looking at how they can protect their customers to prevent those types of things from happening to them. So it's something that is they're already looking at, and I'm sure the central bank too will be looking at that too, as to how to put out policies such that financial institutions will be in adherence to that. But it's something that a lot of stakeholders are already looking at how to do it, and I'm sure that if the ONSA gives the directives, they will be able to comply quickly.
Thank you. And I think the custodians of AML CFT regime in Nigeria is actually the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, who gives policies around NFIU. So they give policies around that. And suspicious transactions and suspicious activity are actually directly reported to the FIU. But I understand that the banks are being managed and administered by the central bank. But where we see significant vulnerabilities is not from the banking alone, but from the non-banking sector, like the brokerage, insurance, and like I've mentioned, the virtual asset space that is coming up. So we really want to see how the industry can actually partner together to enhance and strengthen compliance, because really the reporting part is the compliance part, right? Of reporting and making sure that actions are taken in a timely manner. And that is, I think it's quite important. So it's a discussion I think we can pick up and on the 17th, we can follow up around that discussion on how government can partner with the private sector, especially the operators and CSCS, to make sure that we kind of have a system in place and a strategy in place to make sure we adopt AI to be able to effectively report. And if there is a need for a PND on an account or freeze an account or freeze transactions, but we need to have to cooperate together to make sure that we have a system in place to address that concern.
Yeah. We'll take that up.
Okay. Did Leke have a question to answer, or should we go back to the question and answer pool?
Yes, I mean, Leke, is it right to say is the financial transactions that constitute significant part of the data that is generated within our own cyberspace? Can I say that, apart from social media, obviously?
Yes, we generate a ton of information. And compliance-wise, I'm aware that there are a lot of compliance systems that have evolved from manual monitoring to more automated systems where there's a compliance software that's integrated with core banking and automatically picks up suspicious transactions, which are then reported to the NFI. So we currently have, like I said, we have a lot of data process, but for most banks, there's some form of automation to make it a bit seamless because of the volume that we currently deal with.
Right. So one more question each, and then we'll be ready for our poll. and our quiz. So let me just go one. So I'm actually looking at the questions, those that signified, who they wanted to ask. And so we'll just ask those questions. So one is for Mr. Hayatudeen. They said, how do we ensure that AI systems used for national security are not biased and discriminatory? Looking at surveillance and targeting.
Okay, so when you say bias, our key responsibility is to secure citizens' life. So that is our key mandate and responsibility. So whatever around biases, our bias, I will tell you, is to make sure that you're safe, you're secure, your money in your bank is secure, your pager or your phone that you're using is secure. So that is our bias. So if you're talking about other biases around surveillance, surveillance can take different forms. Surveillance can be intrusive or it can be preventive. So ours is to make sure that you're protected, your assets are well protected, both online and offline.
Thank you. I'm seeing many questions, people are asking for tools to use. So we're not here to sell any tool. So don't mind if we don't answer those questions because we're not selling any tools. But somebody is asking though, that the free tools, are they really safe? I know personally I'm wary of using free tools. They say there's no free lunch. If you are not paid, then you are the lunch. So
Exactly, Isoma, but the thing is you have to have the ability to balance. What is it? Is it that you're afraid that your data will be used by Leke, for example, to do his predictive analysis, or you are afraid of some organized crime somewhere in another country attacking your infrastructure? We deal with almost a lot of national incidents at the third. Ransomware attacks. We have facilitated and we partner with Interpol as well to go after those criminals. I will tell you, crime, our cyber crime, is a well-organized crime. It's transnational crime. So you would be amazed to see how criminals have moved onto organized crime gangs in the world have moved to cyber criminality. So
yeah.
yes, it's a matter of how you balance it. If Google will take your information and process it for ads, that's fine. I think it's up to you to look at your risks. And I think Fumi is an expert in risk management, so she'll have to obviously. So it's all a matter of what's your risk appetite. So that's why you need to have a professional, cybersecurity professional that can be able to quantify and say, okay, this is the value of the infrastructure. You need to put A, B, C, D in place, especially in terms of budget, to make sure that you protect your infrastructure. And I will tell you, especially for the enterprise, cybersecurity have gone beyond SOC, it has gone beyond a manager's perspective, it has gone beyond the MD. Cybersecurity is a board matter because it's when they lose the money that the board knows how that can be painful. So sorry for me, this is your area. Maybe you can add more on the balancing and the risk appetite part.
Yes, you were spot on. Yeah, it's just about balancing. You cannot use a sledgehammer to kill a fly. So you have to know what are you going to be what is going to be exposed vis-a-vis what you want to invest. And that's why you have to have a strategy. Just like what you said, cybercrime is an organized crime. So you have to have a strategy to protect yourself. You can't go into warfare without a strategy. If not, you are planning. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yeah.
Okay. And then are we ready for the quiz? Or we should go on with the questions? And please, while we're at it, we have shared link for you to rate just your opinion on this webinar as a whole. Can you go and do it. And then we are about to share the quiz that we're waiting for. We're going to choose 4 winners. I will not tell you the prize. Fastest fingers, please. Yes, host and panelists cannot answer. So can we quickly answer? And the winners will be announced at the end after the closing remarks. So you can scroll down to get more questions. They're just 4 questions. Okay, we'll just give 1 more minute because we're actually looking for the fastest 4. 1 more minute and then we will close. And please, the rating has also been shared. Please you can rate this webinar. As a survey has been pushed out as well. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. While they collate who is our INEC here? While they collate the results, I would like to go to the next agenda. No, quiz is over. So we will take the results. While we do that, while they collate that, let us go to the next agenda. We'd like to introduce our Executive Director, Adeyinka Shenekom. Is our ED online? So thank you for taking the poll. Once our ED, our next agenda, our Executive Director. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Hi, Isioma. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I had some difficulty in signing in. So, thank you, everyone, for joining. I've been following the discussions as we started at 11 this morning. It's been quite robust and quite interesting. I have a very simple task here, and that task is around highlighting our forthcoming Cybersecurity conference on the 17th of October, which most of the speakers have also mentioned. So, as we know, Cybersecurity Month is October, and as we have always done in CSCS, we have championed the discourse around cybersecurity during that month of October by hosting a conference. This year, we've taken it one step further by collaborating with the Office of the National Security Advisor. They have graciously decided to partner with us this year in hosting this conference conference is deemed to hold on the 17th of October 2024 in Abuja at the Transcorp Hilton. We are inviting participants to join us both virtually and physically at that conference on the 17th this year. The conference theme is around synergizing AI and infrastructure. I'll be focusing on how artificial intelligence can be powerful as a tool to enhance cybersecurity strategies and protect the critical infrastructure that supports our digital world. So it is poised to be a very, very interesting day of discourse. We have invited a lot of thought leaders, both internationally and locally, and government officials, as well as cybersecurity experts, to share with us latest innovations and strategies that are shaping the future of digital security. Again, we are very excited to be partnering with the ONSA, and you can see part of the advantage of that with today's discourse, with the gracious presence of Mr. Hayatudeen from the Director of National Cybersecurity Coordination Center, and also with the other participants that we have highlighted today, Funmilola and Oluleke. In terms of how to participate and register for this conference, it's quite simple. We invite people to go and onto our website, the dedicated website for this conference, www.cscs.ng/CS conference. We'll share that in the Zoom chat room for people to be able to follow. And also on our website at www.cscs.ng. You register, it's good for people to register quickly on time so that we will be able to prepare adequately for those that are going to attend, and also not to miss out on the limited spaces available. Again, we are very excited about this year's conference, and I'm very sure that it's to be of maximum impact to everyone that attends. Thank you very much. Ishema, back to you.
Thank you, sir. So thank you, everyone. So our winners ready yet? The first 4 fastest fingers win our quiz today. So we'll announce their names, and we'll also share with them how they can contact us to collect their prize. Hold on, the results are coming in. Okay, well, we are verifying the results. Our INEC is working assiduously. Okay, so I've been told that to save our time, they'll contact the winners because we have your email addresses you used to register. I would have liked to call them out here though. Okay, so vote of thanks. We'll call our ED again to come and do the closing remark.
Okay, thanks, Icheba. It's good to be back quickly again. Honestly, I'm very delighted with the participation at this webinar this morning. With the number of people that have participated, over 500, it's quite interesting. And I thank everyone that is participating, both in this Zoom link and also on our social media platforms. But again, I would like to also thank our major partner in this conference this year, the Office of the National Security Advisor. I also would like to thank Mr. Hayatudeen, who has graciously done a good job in highlighting overview of AI and the impact on national security. It was quite insightful, his presentation today. And also Funmilola Odumuboni, who I hope I've not done injustice to our son. Thank you for your participation today, and also Oluleke, Olatunji, CISO at FSDH. You guys have kickstarted this process for us for our conference and also for the Cybersecurity Month with your expertise and knowledge in the areas that you have spoken about today. Again, we look forward to seeing everybody on the 17th of October, in which we assure you that we're going to have a very robust discussion and conference. Again, I invite people to also register quickly for that. And without any other information, I thank everybody for joining again today. Thank you very much. Isioma.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. If you go to the chat section, you have the link to join the conference, to register for the conference, and we have survey forms to fill. And the 4 winners will reach out to you because we have your details that you used to register for this webinar. Thank you very much, everybody. It was nice to see you. Thank you.